here tonight to talk about submitting at a con. So, have you ever brought a book to CGC or even CBCS at a Comic-Con and submitted a book there?
I haven't done it personally.
Okay.
I'd say only because I just always felt funny about it. Like,
yeah,
I was with Doyle in New York Comic Con. I was going to submit something with him. I just felt a little funny about it. I'm not saying not to do it. I mean, if Todd McFarlane's there and they're like, we can do it right here with Todd, sign everything, boom, bow. That's the position I want to put myself in eventually. Like, have a whole like box for Todd, you know. But this is after me and Todd like hit it off, and I already made him like my big ZD, because we'll be at that point, and I'll be like, hey Todd, by the way, here's a bunch of books. Let's go to CGC's. Let's go to the con and sign them. I seen them done, the CGC and the CBCS, and from what I could tell and what I saw, I liked what I saw. It's very well done. Like it's like this. You're walking into you're getting online, right? Let's say Thomas Fallon's gonna sign a book for you. Todd's there on the side.
Yep.
You got your book. He signs it. He literally signs it. It's on a platform. They don't even touch the book after he signs it. It's on like this weird, like a plastic flat piece, like this, like a. And they just hand it to CGC, where they do their thing. They wrap it up. They put it away. They stack them. They put it away. That's it. Everything goes into like this weird like billfold. Put it away, and goes to CGC to get shipped. As they're coming along, they're crating them up, and they're stacking them up for shipment to go back to CGC. From when we were in Comic-Con.
And they grade them at the con, right?
Yeah, they grade them right there. Like, they give it to them on this plastic thing.
Okay.
They do their grading. They do their notes. They take the notes. They take the comic. They take it in another sleeve. They put it in a special box that will go with other comics. They're just sleeving them up with each other. And then they mark the box, and then they give it to whoever ships it to Florida, and they just ship it straight to Florida from there. But you gotta understand, like, when they doing cons, like, I've seen CGC moving thousands of books a day. Thousands. Like, they gotta be out there. There's no place to put them. So CGC is constantly moving. Like, they go to these shows, and they're doing them up. I say like this. I've had most of my signings done in-house. Now, I say with in-house, it's just weird. Like, I would rather go to the con to do them. The problem with that is, think about this too. And I had this problem when we went to the con. It's all so much stuff. Like, for me personally, I would need like a freaking little radio flyer red wagon for my stuff. It's that much. There's no way. So for me to bring, like, you know, I couldn't bring what I want. A couple of books at most, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to be able to bring that. But I would prefer to have it done in person. Not saying that the grading wasn't done right, because I have a set of Venom that I bought when I was younger. Oh, it's my own set. I bought it. I read it. Probably read it. You know, I have other copies. But I was like, these are my 6. So I sent them in to CGC. And I got them graded. And I thought the grades came back the way that they should have, considering that I know the wear and tear that I put on them as I read them. So, I mean, if you trust the process, I mean, sending them in is just as good as getting them done in person. But if you're one of those people that you have to see it done up front and you really want to know, then in-person signing is the way to go. But I'm not sure. Confused. Yeah, go ahead.
Because, I just got this email from CGC today. And I'm looking through it, on-site pricing for comic book grading. And the pricing is just what it is. Modern is 40, vintage is 60, high value is 110. A walkthrough is a fair market value of 5%, minimum 125. Reholder is 40, and a high value reholder 75. That's very simple, straightforward. But the turnaround time for grading is where it gets weird. And I'm wondering what they're trying to say by this. So the turnaround time for grading is end of show for modern and vintage books, end of day for high value books, 3 hours for a walkthrough book, end of day for a reholder, and 3 hours for a high value reholder. Are they trying to say that they're going to have the book back to you encapsulated in 3 hours?
Well, I believe at a show, if you have a high-end book, then yes, because your book's going to take priority. We are paying more for it, and you will have it encapsulated at the show. They could grade them at the show, right?
Okay.
But as far as giving them back to you, now we're talking about that quick rapid turnaround.
Yeah.
If you wait a few hours, you can get them sent back to you at the show. Most people won't wait.
Encapsulated at the show.
Encapsulated and graded at the show. But I'm just not
That's
sure.
Crazy to me.
Yeah, but I've never seen no one actually grab one at the show. Every time I've ever seen somebody turn one in, it was just for submission. So if they're talking about turnarounds on the shows, this could be something that's new. But I would say for the reholders, I can see that being at the show, because that's what it is. It's a reholder. Your book is not. But remember, we were also having a conversation about, well, I don't know. Is it fair? Well, if you drop the CGC, you're going to damage it. It cracks open.
Most likely,
Is it fair to just leave that grade the way it is? I guess if I was a person that owned the book, I would be like, don't regrade it. But in reality, it's a reholded book.
I mean, I've got a couple books that I've, like, the cases cracked over the years. One of them dropped, and there's no damage to the book because it fell from such a small height that it just cracked the case in the perfect way where it's like, bummer.
Yeah.
I've thought about reholding it. I've honestly thought about just taking it right out of the case and keeping it in the collection or trying to sell it. But, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
I have an Amazing Spider-Man #1. It was a 9/8, and it cracked open on the corner. And it got damaged. I saw the damage. So I did a video on it. I cut it out of the poly bag just to see. And I was like, yeah, if I didn't cut this, I would have been able to resubmit that. I got a 9/8 for it. I got a lot of feedback for that. You ruined that book. I'm like, it's my book to relax, guy. It was already ruined when I dropped it. Don't worry. For whoever saw that video got upset about it, don't worry. I still didn't get to take care of it. It's halfway cracked open somewhere in there. I'll get to it one day. It's not a priority to me. Because I'm looking at my 9/4 that I got signed by Dan Slott and someone else, so I'm happy with that one. so you know,
are you okay with CGC grading and encapsulating at a Comic-Con, or do you think that is way out of left field? They shouldn't be rushing it, like, because that's how I'm feeling. Like, we've had so many issues with CGC lately.
Yeah.
Right. Continue to rush these out the door.
I think like this: if it's not encapsulation or reholdering, anything else done at that show shouldn't be done at that show. Yeah. It should be taken in and done the correct way. Because now you gotta think about it. You're talking about a con. Let's say a New York Comic Con, right? Or let's say a Mega Con. Or let's say E2, C2E2. You're talking about tens of thousands of people. At least, at minimum, I was seeing there a day, even when there was no lines, but there was people congregating all around there. Yeah, a minimum of 1,000 people a day around CGC booth, whether they were waiting to do it or getting online or making up their minds or getting offline or whatever the case was. 1,000 people. Yep, definitely.
Or even just watching everything go down.
Yeah,
laughing at all the people who are getting ripped off.
Yeah. People making videos in the background, putting on YouTube, laughing at CGC ripping these people off here, things like that. So, so you gotta think, like, you're gonna be doing that many books at a con. So I'm gonna trust the quality of your grading when you got hundreds of books poured in, and you gotta guarantee it by the end of the day. So you gotta guarantee my book and hundreds of other books by the end of the day. Nah, that's where it starts getting shady for me. You see, CGC, you're going down that shady path again. Listen, I know you're owned by BlackRock, but check this out. You shouldn't be doing encapsulation. I mean, reholstering, recapsulation. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Like even being the person that would drop my book and damage it. Yeah, don't it's still a 9.8. Throw it back in there. Yeah, I can see that being something. But an actual grading of the book, nah, you're gonna be too swamped. And usually at the CGC booth, you have about 4 to 8 people working. Okay, so let's say all 8 of them are graders, and let's say we multiply 1,000 books. They get 1,000 books. You divide that work amongst 8 of you, and then by how many hours it's going to take. You wouldn't be done in a day with just
not just
books.
that. You've got to pass that book to the other person for them to check the grade.
Yes, yeah.
So basically, realistically, you need 9 guys. So that way you can have one person accepting, another person doing the first grade, another person checking that grade. And then this looks like they are encapsulating. So what I'm reading on their website now, regular submission drop-off. CGC will also accept regular submissions, comics cards, video games, home video collectibles to be taken back to its headquarters for certification at regular grading fees. Plus, submitters have one way on shipping. So get your on-site grading submissions ready for HeroesCon. Certified Guarantee Company is happy to announce that the option to submit comics for on-site grading at Heroes Convention Charlotte is now available on the CGC Comics online submission form. Fill out the form now, drop off your submission at the CGC booth, and get your books back by the end of the show.
Oh, man.
That is insane to me.
I don't know, Lucy. If you didn't have like a lot of books to grade, I would say yeah, but we're talking about, come on, dude, thousands of books.
So they are saying that they're going to cut it off at some point, and they're going to have to. But if this is the first time doing it, how many books do you know that you can get through and encapsulate in 3 days? Because you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let me tell you something. That would be the case. I'm going to make sure that when they come to New York Comic Con, I'm going to be there at 8 a.m. with a whole stack of short boxes. No, you laughing, Pandora's boxes. I can't do them all, but I can get at least 8 crates to them right off the bat. And that each crate has 125 comics.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here you go. I'll be back by the end of the day to pick this all up.
And here's the thing. How are they giving them, like, if you submit, let's say you submit 25 books.
Yeah.
Are they going to put it in a box for you to bring back? Or are they going to give you those 25 books? Are you going to
pack it for me? Yeah. Well, how are you going to do it to me? Is it like in the store I have to buy my own bag? What's going on? Like, are you going to put it in a box for me? I mean, dude, I can see it going like this. You get there at 8 a.m. By 9 a.m. they ain't accepting no more books.
Yep. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah. By 9 a.m.
as soon as it opens, it's, hey, we're here. By literally probably an hour, maybe hour and a half after.
Yes.
We are not accepting anymore for today. We can't do it. So what they're saying is on-site grading, including reholder submissions, would be available Friday, June 14th through Saturday, June 15th, and a very limited quantity of walkthrough submissions will be accepted on Sunday. How much you want to make a bet that by Sunday or before Sunday, they're going to be like, we cannot meet the deadline of how many submissions we've got on Friday and Saturday, so there's no walkthrough submissions on Sunday.
Unless these people got like 50 other people that are going to be grading in the back constantly, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's definitely not going to work.
They're going to be at booth 101. I can't wait to see the layout of this booth because, you're talking about for an encapsulation machine, I can only imagine what that looks like.
I would think it's more like a heat press machine.
Yeah.
Like it'll get to a certain point and you press it to a certain temperature, and that's how the pins lock in. They kind of melt in place. Yeah. So it's
but you also have to have a printer there.
Yeah.
Enough paper to print off all of these labels. Enough holders. Holy shit.
Yeah, because how are you gonna know who submitted what? You can't just bring all the labels with you. You'll be going nuts. You would have to put everything right there. Because how are you gonna know what you're gonna get?
Printing everything off minute by minute by minute.
Like I said, I'm gonna come with a whole freaking a truckload full of books. I'll be like, here you go. I'll be back by the end of the day, and they will be closed by then because they're gonna be like, oh, this guy just dropped off like 1,000 books to us, so we're done for the day. Yeah, just grade these and get them out there. That's it. No problem. Thanks for letting me know that because I'm gonna test this to the theory. I'm gonna see how many I can actually submit. I'm not lying when I say I'm gonna bring 8 crates. I'm not bringing 8 Grail crates too. No way. I'm gonna have the guns out, double barrel. I'm not fucking around. I'm not walking around with all these comics. It'll be like a couple $1 million worth of comics. I'm not even playing. Watch. When I show you, Chris, you're gonna be like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! I want to do it!
Please,
I want to do it for the show."
That says CGC. You fucked around. Now find out.
Now find out. Yes, I like that. And you see me with my crate of comics. Like I'm coming with Grails.
I'd be surprised if they're still doing this by New York City Comic Con.
Well, yeah, I would be surprised, but New York City Comic Con will destroy them.
I don't think this is sustainable at all.
Them. Look, you've been there. You've seen just the crowds alone. Like,
so,
can you imagine saying, hey, 100,000+ people.
Yep.
We can turn around your CGCs in one day. What do you say? The line would never stop. The line would continue for days. There would be people sleeping on that line. It would just be a continuously rotating line. The guy would be like, stay on this line. When you get off, I'm going to get back on with you. We're just going to keep going. That's it. It would be a rotating every line. It would never end. You cannot service that many people. You would have to service 100,000 people. Let's just say 5,000 even submitted. Let's just say 5. Let's say 5,000. Let's say 10,000. I think 10,000 would be an average daily submission. You're going to tell me that you're going to be able to grade and encapsulate that many comics in one day and get it right. Nah. You guys are going to quit. You guys are going to get it wrong. We're going to be hearing about the scandal in the next couple of years about how. And I guarantee this is going to start C2E2. Don't worry. This will be another Slabgate. This is going to be
worse than C2E2.
This is going to be worse than Acetate Gate and Slabgate. This is going to be worse. Absolute worse. So I would love to see this. This is going to be a great, great funeral pyre. I really want to see this thing burn.
I can't quickly find a number for how many people the Charlotte Convention Center can hold.
Right.
But the attendance of last year's HeroCon was 50,000 people.
Nice.
So multiply that by 3 for New York City Comic Con.
Well, New York City Comic Con, I know for a fact, can hold about 100. And well, when we went, they were actually 169,000 people.
I believe
the day
it.
that we went. Oh, definitely. I did the numbers. 169,000 people.
200,000 people in 2022.
Oh, yeah. I believe that for sure. Look at hell, 200,000. Wow. 200,000. That's insanity. That's bigger than any football, basketball, tennis game you've ever been to. It's the biggest event you could ever go to in your life. 200,000 people. We were walking around like it was insane, you know? And 200,000. Imagine if a riot was to break out with that many people. Don't worry, Chris.
And it really doesn't look like it's ever full.
Right.
That's the amazing part about how the Javits Center.
Because the Javits Center is so massive.
It's huge.
Extremely massive. I mean, I've seen them throughout the years. Add on. Like Comic-Con, when it first started there, it was like a video game convention. It was like just the front section. Like, you know how you walk into the main area and you have... That's it. It was just that area. And we're talking like 2006 and 7. And I went with my boys and, you know, we were curious about what this was. I was like, oh, this is a comic convention. I used to go to these in the 80s. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but I think they're going to try to make this a yearly event. And then that's how the Comic-Cons were pretty much being born, you know? Yeah. But you could see like the judges and what they were doing. I thought, oh, this is going to be humongous. And now it's like completely, it's not humongous. It's out of control. It's completely bananas. I don't care if you do 3 days. You will never be able to go to every place. This is impossible. I tried. We tried. We were getting freaking... Remember how many times we walked back and forth?
Yeah.
To find 2 things. Back and forth. Like, we walked the whole Javits, which is about... from length, from where we walked to the end, is about 4 to 5 city blocks each way. So one way is about 4 blocks. Going back is 4 blocks. So we were walking for miles. It was crazy.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm trying to find out if there's any information on how many books are submitted at a con.
You're right. There has to be a limit, right? Limit
Like there's got to be a number that they've been following this for a good amount of time that they're like, yeah, we could make that work.
Yeah, right. I like to see what I like to see. I like to see them make this work. Because let me tell you something. Like I said, it's just a sheer number of volume of people in that day. And a lot of them are going to go to CGC. That's it. There's guys like me who are still holding on to their freaking original McFarlane 300. Like, I have 4 300s. I submitted some. I had some signed. And I kept one completely virgin. I didn't read it. It's completely, like, that's the one I'm going to turn into Tom McFarlane one day. Like, the one I never thought I would turn in. Like, the one I bought to just put away.
Could you imagine if this was at C2E2 during Acetate Gate? How insane that would have gotten.
Yo, yeah, right? Like yeah. Oh,
like,
so
Whatnot was already insane. And, like...
Whatnot kids.
Like, that was already insane. The whole C2E2, the guy selling it at his booth and increasing the price because the demand got high and the stock got low. Like, that was insane. If you add all of that into the fact that you can literally go pick up that book at 8 a.m. from the artist and have it encapsulated for $125 by 11 a.m., you can be selling hundreds, technically, because CGC won't be able to do this, but you could technically be selling hundreds of books that were just graded that day, that were just bought that morning, by probably noon.
Well, forget that. You could do pre-sales. These are going to be graded at this time on this date. And you can do pre-sales, and people will line up for your pre-sales.
Yep.
So, yeah. Hey, let the hustling begin.
That is
if you
fucking
make that
crazy.
money, make that money. Hey, listen. Make that money if you can. Just don't be a jerk about it. Okay?
Yes.
That's it.
Do what you got to do, but don't be
a jerk about it. Don't step on my toes to make money.
Yep.
Because then I'm going to step back, and you ain't going to like that. So that's all it comes down to. Just be nice to each other. Respectful. There's plenty to make out there. Don't worry, people.
I just think this is probably the dumbest idea CGC has had in the past 5 years.
Hey, man, CGC is like on a roll lately, huh? They are completely on a roll. You literally, I'm thinking, man, I would love to work for CGC, but I'm not a book cover. And they got degenerate people working for them and doing scams on them. Like, yeah, what the hell? Like, wow. So much for that. Man, they should hire my ass because, you see, you could also get the bonus. I said, you know what I do? They get the bonus if somebody steps out of line. Just send me their direction. They ain't got to worry about it. Just say they're over there, and that's it. They just won't be over there no more. That's all, you know. May show up in the news. You know, things happen. You ever see a house explodes? Things like that, you know. Gas lines. But there's no gas lines in Florida. It's okay. Things explode regardless. There's propane.
Is that true?
Oh, I don't know. I just said that. I'm pretty sure there's gas and propane tanks, but no.
I mean, I know there's like certain places that are only electric. Like we have up here in Western New York, Spencerport. The Village has Spencerport Electric, so they don't have any gas lines that go to them because everything in their house is electric.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
we still on that gas, yo. But they're trying to get rid of the gas. How dare them? Listen, it's real simple. You don't need to get rid of gas. This is what you do. You ready? Stop freaking cutting down all the trees. Let the trees flow. Oh, I got histamines. I got allergies. Well, too bad. Oxygen comes from that, and so does pollen. It just got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately. But deforestation, people, and the ozone layer is what causes this global phenomenon that you see. Not us driving cars, because if that was the case, then tell me, with the Industrial Revolution that happened, and I'm talking about the smoggy, old coal, charcoal. What happened to all that pollution? You know what happened to it? It got absorbed by the trees. Trees breathe this stuff in. Carbon monoxide can be synthesized into carbon dioxide in a second in a plant, in a tree. They know how to convert that. This is healthy for them. So wherever you go in this world, try to live by a lot of dense forests. It's the cleanest air you'll ever breathe. Like I live like in an urban city area, but where I live is like closest to the country. I mean, I see all kinds of crazy stuff. I see blue jays, condos, like raccoons, possums, hawks. I see crazy creatures running around here that you're not supposed to see. But it's all good though. But that's because when the air is pure, the animals are closer to the air. So you always want to live in that kind of area. It's always a good idea to have, like, to be that close to the nature. Yeah. You got people who live in the city. It's why they're sick, they're fat, and they're dying because, the city likes moves too quick.
Smog
yeah, it's unhealthy. It's not a way to live, So you have to live around the trees. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sounding like a tree hunter.
No, you're good. What would your prediction be for the biggest mistake that's going to come out of this? Besides the fact that they're doing it in the first place.
It's going to be like an acetate gate. We're going to have a freaking $25,000 book coming out and a $50,000 book coming out. They're going to be making them all 9.9s and gem mint 10s. You already know that's going to happen. But that's exactly what I'm afraid of. The gem mint 10s.
Yep.
It's like they are changing the game. All your 9.8s people, they're gonna be worthless. I really feel like what you said, Chris, was 100% true. That CBCS would be the way to go, and sometimes even better than that. Don't submit your books. Everybody that has submitted books, you're gonna be the only person left with a raw book. Real deal.
I honestly believe that, especially with the prices of grading going up, stuff like this is so much more valuable.
Yeah.
And especially it's kind of hard to take off these comic capsules that are right here.
I know who, and I gotta
those are so much better.
I mean, honestly, look,
they don't come with a grade, but who gives a fuck?
Exactly. When we were collecting comics in my day, no one had anything encapsulated. You just traded comics. That's it.
Yep.
And you would buy like the Wizard, and the Wizard would be a monthly publication that would have the current comic value for all your comics. And you would just look up your comics. This was the old technology, people, before computers. Like the dinosaurs. Like we used to have to put smoke signals on to communicate with each other and pull strings on a line so we could hear each other. But we did it, and we were grading our own books, and we knew how to grade. It's real simple. This is how you grade a book. Look at the spine. If there's no ticks on it, you almost have a flawless book. Look at each corner. If there's no folds in the paper, you're good. Open up the book just slightly. Open it to the middle. If everything seems like it's in place, got a perfect book. Any kind of dents, like if you got any kind of spine tick, it doesn't necessarily take it to a 9.8. But if you have a spine tick that's breaking color, that will break it down to a 9.6. As long as you know these characteristics of grading, I have graded and self-graded. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing this for shows in the future on my YouTube channel. I'm going to self-grade my books, what I think they are. I'm going to submit them to CGC, and we're going to see just how good I am with grading. We're going to see.
I would love to see stuff like that, because there's times when CGC gets it so wrong.
Yeah, I believe
I'm just
that all the time.
Really?
They get it wrong all the time.
This is an 8.0. There is, I can't find a single spine tick on this thing. There's a few little minor dents in the cover almost, but they don't break color.
Yeah.
It was cleaned and pressed, so they were pressed as nice as they could be. It's a black cover, so obviously they're very particular of it.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's not a single flaw that I can see. And that's CBCS. So I trust that grade a lot more than I trust CGC at this point.
Even with CBCS, they were ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
an 8, really? We were expecting a 9. When I came back an 8, I was excited. I'm glad it's an 8 or higher, because that's my threshold. I don't like to submit stuff that's that low.
Yeah.
Or that's lower, especially for moderns.
Yeah.
The fact that where is it? This one came back a 3.5. It's the first appearance of Black Cat.
Oh, nice.
Was shocking. We thought it was a 6 or 7, maybe an 8, but we didn't open it up, and I bought it off of a guy, and there was a little bit of water damage and staining on the back that just
yeah.
It wasn't going to come clean. And we didn't say anything to our presser, my LCS owner. I said, let's get it pressed and cleaned. And he noticed it, but he didn't be like, oh, this isn't going to come back very high. Do you still want to grade it? He was just like, oh, this is how they're submitting it. This is what they want. I'll clean it up as best I can. And it will come back as good as it can.
All right.
So, I mean, there was a little bit of miscommunication, but who cares? I'm okay with it.
At the end of the day, it's your book. And like I said, especially with the older books, it don't matter the grade. Submit those. But modern books, if I don't feel I can pull at least a 9.6, or if it's signed, it's a different story. But if I can't pull a 9.6, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my time. But I should be recording this because I'm literally sitting there. I was submitted a bunch of Spawn 327s like back in the day. I graded every single one of them, and I found a 9.6 in there. I was like, okay. And they ask you on the paper, like, what you think the grades are. So I give them what I think the grade is, and each one I wrote down. I get 10s. I should put down 20 and why I think it's a 20, right? Give me 10 stars. It's ridiculous, man. It's like now all of a sudden you're gonna find a bunch of 9.9s. People have 9.9s and 9.8s. This is why, like, I'm looking at my encapsulated comics, and I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna stop for now encapsulating anything, and that's it. I'm just done for now because for me, this whole graded thing don't make no sense. I'm gonna be submitting, and then in a couple more years, it's gonna be some new rule or some new thing or some newfangled thing. Like, oh, we submitted all books. They couldn't go higher than a 9.8. Now all of a sudden, oh no, we could actually go to 9.9 to 10. You could have did this already. You didn't want to do this. That was your plan all along. Do I trust CGC? No. Sorry.
And see, that's my thing is like a 9.9, well, a 10 is a perfect collectible.
Yeah.
And cards seem to get 10s all the time.
I can tell you what that is, though, because when you're cutting cards, right, versus cutting comic books, it actually is a neater cut. Okay. What makes these things 10s is how they're cut in a bunch. Now, I think Symbiotic, I know I'm plugging my book, but I've looked at Symbiotic thoroughly from spine to end. I flipped this book around. I looked for spine to you got 2, 3, 4 copies, so this book I believe could get a high 9.9 to a 10. That's how great the quality.
I'd love to see what one gets. I mean, I'd love to submit a couple different versions.
I'm telling you right now, that book, I'm going to be submitting my CGC application so I can start submitting these to CGC. So yes, I will be doing these at CGC soon. Don't worry about that. I believe Wayland is CGC certified. So for now, what I'm going to do, because I'm dying to get this done, I'm going to talk to Wayland this weekend. I'm going to tell him to submit 10. We're going to submit 10, and that's it. I don't care. He could be on the book. It doesn't matter to me. He's part of my company. Yeah. I'm fine with that, until I get my stuff done. But yeah, we're going to submit these books. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give them the books that I know because from the cut. From the cut. It's all about the cut. So the way it works is like they are stacking these papers up and they're cutting them in bunches of 100 to 200. You're cutting them. You're folding them. You're making a comic. Now, the beginning cuts are always going to be the worst cuts, and the end cuts are always going to be the worst cuts. It's what comes like within the middle that becomes the perfect cut. So when you're doing cards now, because they're stock cardboard, they're easier to cut, and they come out.
That makes sense.
They come out more perfect because they have the cut. You understand? You can cut straight through CGC at 1010 to CBCS. Yeah, definitely.
That would be interesting.
Yes.
If you submitted 10, 20, so 20 total.
Yeah.
10 to CGC, 10 to CBCS, and basically picked out, like you're saying, the 10 best and the 10 best. What would it come back as? That would be very interesting.
I didn't even think about doing that. Screw that. Yeah, I'm going to apply for CBCS too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do both. That's a good idea. Thanks for that idea, because I'll actually make a show about this. So I just got to work on submitting my stuff.
Play
I don't
the
think
two
it's that
companies
hard.
against each other.
Yeah. And I'll say, let's see who's going to get it. Let's see who's going to get it right. CGC or CBCS. Let's go, baby. Yeah. That'd be a great show to make. And I'm going to do it. So, this weekend, I'm going to talk to Waylon and see about getting him to submit some stuff. And then I'm going to get the link and I'm going to start putting in my artist application so I can start submitting CGCs and putting my stuff in. And also, guys, check it out. Yours is in the mail, my friend.
Love it.
My first collector card. But you see what happened, guys? Look, I'm going to be putting those on my Instagram tomorrow. So listen up. This is important. That code came out wrong. I programmed it wrong. It was a scam website. I found the right websites to use. I actually have a website. So I'm generating my own QR codes. I'm going to be offering this service eventually. I am now able to take an entire comic and put it onto this card. I'm going to have Symbiotic, Book 1, the Book of Einstein, on a card.
That's awesome.
So is Book 2. And I'm going to charge for that card like $5. And that's going to be for people, because I know a lot of people that I know that are fans of mine, and they're all over the world. I got a lot of people in Canada. I got some people in Japan. I got some people overseas in Europe. And this is going to be so easy to mail, because I looked up the rate of mail. Okay, so I'm going to, like, this card right here, when I give away the first 50, I'm going to be selling these for $3. And with free shipping, because I'm just going to mail it like I showed you today. Yeah. I put it in a thank you card. And you're going to get a personal handwritten thank you card for the president and CEO of Symbiverse Comics, me. And I'm going to write a handwritten note, thank you, and you're going to get your card in there. So I'm not going to charge shipping, because it's like, 50 cents, 60 cents, whatever it costs for a stamp. I bought a whole book of stamps today. It was like $13. And I had 19 stamps left.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, the shipping I'm going to cover, and I'll sell these for $3 each. And this is cool. So I sent you the code. When you scan that code, it's going to, what I did here was, so real quick, I'll explain what happened. As I'm doing Book 2, I wrote a lot, but I wrote too many pages. Like, I was down to a count of 42 pages. It was almost becoming a giant size. I gotta do a giant size Symbiotic one day. But yeah, it was becoming giant size. It really was. So I started reading the story. So I'm not gonna give away the story, but in this story right here, this is Faust's origins. I took the first 6 pages, and what I did was I went into his backstory, what happens, how he becomes who he becomes, right? But in the story, what I wrote, I actually talk about it again to the main character, Einstein. So Faust is talking to Einstein about his backstory. So I'm like, so I kind of wrote it twice. So I was like, wait a minute. If I subtract those first 6 panels, first 6 pages, then I just continue the story from where the battle left off. I could put it on a card. And that's exactly what I did. And what a great idea. So I decided Einstein card's coming next. It's already done. I just got to PTF it and send it to my guy. And we're going to fix it all up. And I'm going to make a PDF for that one. But all my characters now with my books are going to have their own origin story. So you'll be able to see like the characters' origin stories and then read the card. So it's just an added on portion of the lore, and it's so cool because it's a goddamn trading card and it came out so nice. I'm really happy with our first trading card. And like I said, we're going to make comics with those in the future. And for anyone out there who's ever looking to make comics in the future, you just don't want to make comics, but you want to make cards, where you make a front and a back cover, I'll take your art and for a price, I'll put it on a comic for you. And we can make comic cards. So yeah, I plan to do comic cards. Yeah, I'm going to give people an option. If you're a traditionalist, grab a comic. If you're one of these modern kids, grab one of these things, and you'll have the comic right there. And the good thing about it is that with this code, I allow you to
shrink my comic collection so much.
Yeah, listen, it's like people want digital comics, right? So I just decided, well, this is your choice. You can have a collector's card, but listen, when I do my Symbiotic Book 1, it's going to have, so it'll be a card with this cover, but it'll be on this card. That's all. So I'm going to be doing that next. For me, because I own everything, it's really not going to cost me a lot to put everything on a comic. It's actually quite easy because I own it and I know how to program this stuff. But it's awesome. So I have a lot of stuff going on with Symbiotic, and I'm not starting my second story, more like picking up my original story that I started. I'm going to
Okay.
give you guys a background on what I did real quick. I'm not going to tell you the name yet, but if you could picture, just picture like a Dark Knight, Punisher, Deadpool, like Hank from Sin City, like Marv from Sin City, guys like that. Imagine all of that rolled up into one character. That's what I made. And it's pretty much a character that's going to become a hero, but
that's
not
Faust,
the easy
or that's
way. No, this is going to be a whole new story that I'm
whole
doing.
new story. Okay.
A whole new story. But I'm making all my stories connect to the Symbiverse. They will all connect eventually. But this story, I'm just giving you an idea of what the character's going to be about. He's going to become the hero, but he's going to become the hero the hard way. Like, he's going to get his ass beat.
Yeah.
He's going to go through hell. He's going to go a little crazy, but he's going to learn. Like, the story is going to be about balance. Like, he's got to learn how to balance his physical body with his mental state and his emotional state to find that perfect union that he could become the hero he becomes. And that's where the struggle comes in, because it's life. He's young and he's just out there thinking, well, this is the way I do it. And he's just looking for fights, not like looking for trouble. He's looking for people who are in trouble and trying to be a hero. But at the beginning of the story, you'll see he's going to get his ass kicked left and right. But this is how he learns. And then throughout time, he's going to come across mentors and he's going to learn more. So yeah, I don't want to say any more about it because it's so good. I've been working on this one. This was my original comic, but I sat it down for a while because Symbiotic was floating around my mind so much. I just had to get it out. But now I feel it's time.
Yeah. I hate to cut you off.
No problem,
but
man.
my daughter just woke up, so I got to go help my wife out with her and make sure everything's cool.
Go ahead, man. Go take care of your kids. Your daughter's cute, by the way.
I really want to talk about your comic next week. I would love to do a story, like a bit of time about that, figuring out where you're at and all that.
Yeah,
so let's do it.
Right now, real quick, I'll just let you know the proof is going to be coming by next week. Hopefully, I get it by next week. I got to call them Monday so I can get my ad put in, my first ad for Legacy Comics. Congratulations and thank you. You're the first ad in my comic. I'm loving it. So we will talk more about this next week, my friend. I have no problem talking about this. I can talk this
Sounds good
all night. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Good night. This was fun. Later.